Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everybody from all around the world, hello and welcome to another episode of The Welterweight with me, your host, Jean-Luc Welch. Make some noise, clap it up, get excited, wherever you are, we're back, we're here, we're having fun, and we're all ready for the big kahuna event tomorrow. Ryan Garcia versus Mario Barrios with a whole host of other topics to discuss, and this is the championship rounds for today's episode. You will control the whole of the show with whatever you want to discuss on today, whether it be boxing, NBA, NFL, all that stuff. We can let you have the floor and drive everything in regards to what we're going to talk about on today. Now, we started a little bit late, I understand, but look, there's a reason for it. I was trying to line this show up so that we could be a little bit closer to the weigh-in. That's going to be happening this afternoon. If we hopefully I line it up right so that by the time it comes around, we should be on the way to be able to see it, watch it, and react to it. Particularly if I'm wrong, well, guess what? We're just going to have a good show like we always do. But if I'm right, we can look at the physique, we can look at the stare down, we can look at it all together as we are still hyping up the mega event that's going on this Saturday. And we are going to be live streaming this Saturday. Don't forget about that. And hopefully, if I line it up right, we'll be able to do a good show, have it go through, as well as see the weigh-in and all that stuff, have some reactions to it, and then end the show potentially a little bit at a decent bit of a time so that I can save my voice, I can save my gusto, and I can be able to give you all the best fervor I got coming on Saturday afternoon. If everything lines up perfectly, hopefully it will, we can have it all done. If not, well, we're going to do what we do best and still give you all that we have. And hey, let the dice roll where they may. And you say, hey, plans may not go right, or plans may not go like I want it. Don't matter. We're still going to give you the work, and we're going to still give you the best show possible. But with all that being said, hey, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. We already got people in the chat right now. Like what I just want the truth. Truth, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in to our show on today. I got my tea today, so we can make sure we can prepare properly for tomorrow afternoon. But we got everything in place for it. We in the building. We absolutely in the building. We everywhere, all across the globe. And if you are across the globe, wherever you're watching, hey, hit the like button on the stream. Come on, get the likes up on the stream. Subscribe to the channel. Come join the Empire. Be a part of the hottest show in all the globe. Hit the notification bell. Be sure to hit notification bell, leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. Oh, and please be sure to share the show with everybody that you know so we can keep on building up this empire together. All with you and your support, we can make it possible to become the most well-known faction in all of sports media, taking over the world one subscriber at a time. And with you all, this can be possible. And I can't do this without you. So please, hey, feel free to support absolutely. And shameless plug, because we got to do it. If you want to help support the channel, we got Cash App and PayPal, links down below, as well as super chats and super gifts. If you want to ask a question and you want to make sure that we get to you, even though that we read all comments, that we try to read all comments that come through, hey, throw some dough my way, and we can make sure that we hone in or whatever you have to say. But we still, championship round, you all drive the conversation. We want to hear from you in all regards. So without further ado, it's time to talk boxing. It's time to talk about sports. It's time to jump into the ring, and it's time for the championship rounds. Yes, sir. Come on, let's get it started. Let's get it popping. Let's get it rolling. Yes, indeed. It's time to work right here, right now for the public and your interest. And we have so much in store. We even have some interviews that we do need to cover over the course of yesterday, as we had Shakur Stevenson going essentially on on his own version of a media tour after his win against Ryan Garcia, talking about some of the other opposition going around for his division and beyond, more specifically with the likes of 140 and 147, and honing in more on the identity of Ryan Garcia and that fight. And I'm going to tell you something right now. And again, we're not trying to hone in. We're not trying just to beat a dead horse on topics in discussion. We understand. However, it has been a thing where we have consistently seen now with this fight coming up with Barrios and Garcia, there's a whole host of ripple effects as to where the next tenure of the mega fights could come through. Right, all right, let me rephrase that. Right, where the next zenith of mega fight can become a reality with Ryan Garcia in the immediate picture. You have to understand, if I have my news correctly, it's supposed to be, again, take it with a grain of salt and research for yourself, but it seems like it's supposed to be the winner of Tio and Shakur was guaranteed an opportunity to fight Ryan Garcia in another mega fight later on this year if we see Ryan Garcia beat Barrios at 147 and gain a championship. If that is indeed a true rumor, then this fight is bigger than we may have expected. Let's be perfectly honest. It's bigger than what we may have expected. Because now the reality of that type of rhetoric, this type of conversation, this type of comparison between Ryan Garcia and Shakur is more than just hyperbolic, good old conversation, good old, fantastical frames of dream-like matchups. But this can be real. I'm dead serious. It can be real. Now, again, check your sources for yourself. See exactly how it's going to go from the standpoint of, okay, is this real or is it fake? I understand. But what I'm seeing, and especially putting together the pieces of the rhetoric in regards to the amount of times both of them have been asked about each other, the amount of times, especially Ryan Garcia, has been very much adamant about really honing in on that Shakur Stevenson fight if he gets past this fight with Mario Barrios. I think it's more than just a potential, a potential cool dream scenario of what can take place. It might be real. It might be real that we can see Shakur and Ryan step in the ring at a catch weight for Ryan Garcia's title. Again, if we see Ryan Garcia get the win over Boris. Now, that's the case. Hey, it can be entertaining to see. But also, we got more people in the chat. Like with Julius. Yo, Julius, what's going on with you? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in to the show with us on today. If you did not know, today is the championship rounds edition for the entirety of the show, where you, the fans, control the whole of the conversation for the entirety of this show, for however long that we go. No question about it. We want to hear your thoughts, your opinions, your takes, and all the rhetoric involving the boxing world or beyond. NBA, NFL, shoot, movie, sports, video games, whatever you want to discuss, we can talk about it. And if I know about it, hey, we can have some debate, some conversation. It's all the rhetoric. But we want to hear from you into your thoughts on anything involving the sports landscape. And here's your opportunity to get in the ring and, hey, see what you got against the best of the best, the cream of the crop, the tip of the top when it comes to this entertainment game in me. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm just trying to work my way up. I ain't nothing special. I'm just trying to be able to give you some funny entertainment. So please, I ain't getting a big head. I'm just being funny. But even still, back to the conversation with Ryan Garcia. In all seriousness, hey, this is a legit heating up opportunity. And again, we touched on this yesterday. Again, we're not going to delve too much into the topic yesterday. You can go back and watch the last episode. What we did talk about was that this was the one of the last opportunities for the current big-time stardom of Ryan Garcia. Not saying he's going to dip and fall and not be a star, but the conversation of you can't afford to lose, especially now against Mario Barrios, because the type of talent that Barrios is seen as, while he's a respectable champion and a dog of a champion, he is a beatable champion from the skill set that we've seen you display. And you already had one of those lapses in wins when you lost to Rolly Romero. Another fight that, in all honesty, should have been even easier of a fight that you should have been able to win than this fight upcoming with Barrios. So you already got a failure in what was perceived as a gimme type of fight. Not saying that Rolly Romero can't fight. I'm saying that's a fight that you should have been able to handle without any problems. Similar to what we had when we were looking at Teofimo Lopez against Arnold Barboza at that point in time. While Barboza was good, Teo was supposed to win that fight, and he did it in a very dominant fashion. He did what he was supposed to do. You didn't. Now, granted, you're not going to win every fight. We understand. On any given night, somebody can get it, and somebody can get the dub. I understand. But now that that's happened once, we are expecting a drive that it won't happen again. But with everything on the line, again, with a potential fight with Shakur Stevenson potentially being even more real than we may realize, all of this is leading into you can't afford to fail this time. That was the conversation yesterday. And it bleeds over into today because, again, this fight has ripple effects that could lead to a mega fight at 147 with Shakur, hypothetically, because I don't think all this talk that both of them are jabbing with against each other is just blasé. Oh, we're just building up, or we're just talking to talk. I think it actually might happen. I could be wrong, but just my opinion, nonetheless. Let me see what you all got to say on today. Fredo, what's going on with you? Welcome back to the show. So happy that you're here with us on today. Let me see what you got to say. Andy Walker only getting 2 or 3 days to adapt to a 17-hour time difference. It's insane. Gary better not lose. And yeah, if you didn't know, one of the fights has the capacity to steal the show is Andy Hiroka versus Gary Anton Russell. Now, that fight is supposed to be, and most likely it's going to be, a fire fight. Again, Andy Hiroka, 24-0, 17 KOs. Gary Antoine Russell, 19-0. I believe it's 19-0, 17 KOs on his resume. So it's like, whoo, Lord, it's going to be a barber. But because of this whole visa instance, because of this whole visa debacle, him not being able to get over to the States for some odd reason, I don't know why. But either way, Buddy going to have to, essentially, is here on short notice, though he knew about the fight. He's got to adapt to time zones, adapt to coming over and getting adjusted to the late hours. I hope it doesn't impede on what can be an absolute dogged out war in Andy Hiroka versus Gary Anton Russell. Now, I think Gary's going to win. Be clear. I do think he's going to win. But I hope that we get the type of firefight that we can expect to see from two legit, incredibly hard punchers. I do. But it could be because of that adjustment period. It cuts on into one side of the fair. It could. It absolutely could. So don't be surprised about that. But I'm holding on to the hope that it's going to be the best fight of the night. I really am. But let me see what you got to say. Julius, the support is here. I just go. Hey, we got another one, ladies and gentlemen. We just got another one. Another soldier in the army of the empire. That is the Welch Report. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for tuning into the channel. Hey, we appreciate you being a part of, or rather wanting to be a part of this community. And hey, man, we're going to welcome you with open arms, buddy. You are part of the family now. Oh, yes, indeed. We're going to be sure that you're going to want to stick around. And we thank you so much for your support and for your interaction. Let me see. Do you have a live link where we can come up on a panel and talk to you? I don't, not yet. Now again, we talked about this in the past. We're trying to get some things together from a business and from a live show perspective. We're trying to get some things together to make it so we can make it even more interactive for you, the fans and pundits. At this point in time, chat's the best way to do it. However, we are looking into ways that we can make sure we can get potentially some live calls, who knows, potentially some live panels to be able to come and link up and, hey, have your voice be heard, have some conversations with you face to face, or rather screen to screen. We're trying. We're trying to make sure we can do it. We don't want to, when we're going to do it, we're going to do it right. Everything that we do on this show is of the utmost professionality, or at least to the best of my ability, with the, again, with the budget that I got right now. Like I said, if we were Gil Serena, it would be a whole different story. But right now, we're doing the best that we can. But don't worry, it's most likely it's coming down the line. Most likely it's coming down the line. Very hopefully, Lord willing, this year, and if we can make it happen, great. And I'll be all well for it. But at this point in time, chat's the best way to do it, and we're gonna make you feel as if you're right here on the panel, and to make it so that, hey, you, even though you may not be able to talk face to face, you don't feel like you're right in the living room. Oh, yes, indeed. At least that's the aim of this show. But trust me, we making moves. I promise you. We are making moves, no question about it. But either way, we got a whole bunch of stuff that we still need to cover. All of that. Hold on. I'm patiently waiting to have a seat. Trust me, it shouldn't be too long. We're going to make it happen. No question about it. I'll send some. Oh, hey, look. I appreciate it. I do appreciate it. Like I said, we do this, trying to make this living. We don't force people to give money. We don't force people to try to support. We just try to make it so we earn our keep, as we've said multiple times on this show. Only give if you can, because we understand, especially now. Hey, times are tight. We get it. Trust me, I get it. And so we just want to make sure we can build up an audience. If you do want to give, hey, we appreciate it oh so much. But please, don't feel obligated. But if you feel like it's worth the time, hey, I will take it. No question about that. No question about that. But I appreciate the support nonetheless, man. It does my heart good to know that you all want to keep this show going. And hey, we're going to keep giving you the best, to my ability, the best entertainment possible. And hey, make it worth your while. Absolutely. So we appreciate it oh so much. If you do, I appreciate it. And I love you. Appreciate it. And it helps us to pay the bills and helps us to also invest back into the show. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. That's why I support you. Keep doing your thing, brother. Hey, man, look, I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, for real. For real. You all are the backbone of this show. Whether you give or not, whether you do anything or not, just being here, y'all are the backbone. And I'll tell you this right now, just y'all thinking I'm worth the time does my heart good enough. I appreciate it oh so much. But I love sentimentalities, okay? Y'all ain't here for no lovey-dovey, but y'all here for some talk, huh? Y'all here for some action. Y'all here for some discussion when it comes to the world of sports. And since we're in the theme of this fight with the Mario Barrios, we got to understand there is, while it's on this card, somewhat of a 140-pound showcase. You could argue Andy Hiroka fighting on this card against Gary Antoine Russell. Frank Martin also fighting at 140. You got to understand, beyond just that fight with Barrios and Ryan Garcia, there's a whole host of other matches that can come through. Like with Frank Martin. Hey, if we see Frank Martin get the job done against his fight, and he gets, especially if he gets a knockout win, you couldn't tell me that a potential fight, if we also see Gary Russell win, you couldn't tell me that you wouldn't want to see Frank Martin versus Gary Antoine Russell for, I believe it was the WBO title on another card in a hotly contested, very much exciting, technical and powerful display and affair at 140. That's another fight we need to look on the horizon for. We got to look at this at a real thing. There's a through lane, especially with what we saw with Frank Martin off of the hot start that he had at 140, knocking out was it Bartholomew, I believe what was his name, in a knockout of the year contender, I believe late last year. They had everybody talking and everybody overlooking. Well, not even overlooking, more so forgiving the performance that he had against the likes of Tank Davis in his last fight before the Bartholomew fight when he got knocked out. He went and got a knockout that was complete. I mean, put that brother to sleep. I'm talking one-hitter quitter and the way that brother the ghost type moniker. It fits the bill because it looks like he's going to be haunting this division for a number of years. And he might belong here at 140 as the best type of ability. He still can be a slick fighter, and he's so quick with his hands from the standpoint of reaching into the cookie jar to be able to get you out of there. He's got that in him, and I'm telling you, him against Gary and Tom Russell, we see that win with Russell versus Andy Hiroka. Shoot, him versus Andy Hiroka would still be a good fight, but especially if it's Gary. Oh boy, that's a championship opportunity that I would love to see. I would dare to say, if we saw Gary Antoine Russell versus Frank Martin for the title at 140 on the undercard of another Shakur card as potentially the co-main event, I wouldn't be mad at that. I would be ecstatic about that. That would still keep the 140-pound division pushing. It will still keep the hierarchy of this division getting completely laid out for the world to see. And would also keep the excitement leading into the main event. So if anybody has anything to say about Shakur and him being quote-unquote boring, well, hey, at least you're not getting bored going into that fight if that's how you feel. Now, again, I don't think Shakur is boring. Some other people do. I would love to hear your thoughts on that. But regardless of which, that as a appetizer for the main event, that's a great fight that I would love to make, and I want to see it. And to be perfectly honest, I really do want to see Frank Martin get this championship opportunity next, because this man is indeed a real talent. Mind you, he wasn't winning those 5 rounds against Tank Davis just because Tank was being conservative. He was doing some really good stuff defensively. He just got over defensive because he got too afraid of the power. But brother, I'm telling you, he can fight. He can fight. He can fight, and he's a dangerous threat to everybody else here at 140. He can beat Lamont Roach. Yes, he can. He can beat Isaac Cruz. Yes, he can. He can beat some of the biggest names out here. He can't beat Shakur, in my opinion. But outside of that, but everybody else is fair game for the Ghost to go and haunt and take out. I'm dead serious. If you think Frank Martin is just Tank's fodder, you are underestimating real danger that this cat brings to this division. Him coming up to 140 made this division even more exciting because the volatility that we talk about at 154, where there's about 10 people that can lose at any given point in time against anybody in that division, is building up to that same threshold now at 140. At 140, and now it's building up to that same threshold at 140. In my estimation, with him being there and with Abdullah Mason, if he keeps on growing out of that division, we can see that happen. Schofield, if he gets tired of not being able to get opportunities, even though something's happened every time he's gotten an opportunity, but I digress, we can see him move up. There's a whole assembly line of talent that in the next year or two can populate this division and turn it into one of the most must-see places in all, not just of boxing, but in sports world in general. I'm telling you, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be incredible. Let me see. Hey, you said it. Oh, man, hey, I appreciate it. Hold on a minute. Wait a second. I'm going to give you your just due. Let me go and look up exactly what you said. I gotta pull it up right here. That's one of the. That's one I see. I knew I should have had multiple tabs on this thing like I normally do on my thing. We're gonna give you your shout out if you did send something. We appreciate it nonetheless. But try to give it some time. Let me log into my stuff. so I can see what gets it my way. Let me see. Technique, what's up with you? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. We're so happy that you're here on today. I need a Burr. What's going on, Burr? Thank you again for coming back and coming through. It's the championship rounds for the whole of this show. Whatever topic of discussion or conversation you would like to have, we want to hear from you in everything and have your voice be heard and seen for the globe to witness and enjoy. For all of us to come through and, hey, have a great discussion on the world of boxing as a whole. But real quick, I do want to bring up one of the tidbits about this conversation when it comes to Shakur and Ryan Garcia. Just kind of piggyback and jumping from place to place. Where's that? Yeah, here we go. Yeah, right here. Ryan Garcia has some words to say about Shakur Stevenson in a recent interview, in regards to his thoughts on the talent level that Shakur has faced and why, if he does get in the ring with him, it's not going to be the same story that he's told for multiple other years. Let me see. Yo, For Life, what's going on with that? Hey, brother, what's going on? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show. So happy that you're back with us on today. We getting ready to play one of the clips of Ryan Garcia. Well, it ain't. Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. I thought it was going to be on the screen. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Wait a minute. Yeah, I think. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. The page wasn't selected. No wonder it was a dark screen. Here we go. Now we got it working. Now we got it right. Here's what we had to say. What Ryan Garcia had to say involving Shakur and the talent from a speed perspective that he's faced is going to be completely different if he faced off against him in a future bout. Now let the clip play and let you all hear for yourself what he had to say. There we go.
I just want that work. I've been waiting for that rematch since I was in the amateurs. I beat him for sure. He knows that. He knows when he's in the ring with me, it ain't going to be like what he does to these other guys. Like, I got the same fast twitch. I have the same eye movements. He's never fought a fighter with as quick as him in every way. So we got to see what he can do with me. Just want that one.
So we got somebody who's a speed demon getting ready to come through and say, hey, brother, you ain't the only man that's got the quickest hands in the land. I got that most of the similar stuff that you bring to the table. I got it, and I can deal with it. And apparently representing he beat him in the amateur. Now, granted, he said it before in another interview. I can't find it, but he said it before in another clip of an interview that he had fought Shakur in the amateurs before. However, Shakur got the win. Garcia felt it was a robbery. Now, granted, I can't validate whether or not that was indeed the truth. I haven't seen any of the footage in the amateurs. We can look up for yourself, no question about it. But the main thing at hand is that, similar to what he had with Devin Haney, he's experienced this type of fighter before. And he feels he can deal with it because he was able to deal with it, per his own words, in the amateur. Now, again, he did whatever when he fought Devin Haney. They traded 3-3 with each other. And as you know, PEDs and situation happened, yes, but it looked like before the PEDs came about, oh my gosh, Ryan Garcia really is a real dog from the standpoint of, okay, he's better than we all expected from that performance. But again, PEDs clouded that whole situation, and we understand that people feel, hey, yeah, that you shouldn't count that. Understandable. Absolutely. Was punished, got fined, all that stuff is absolutely worthwhile to happen and deserved to happen. However, this is the second, again, if this is true, and if he does feel, okay, hey, I should have gotten the win. I know how to deal with this type of sniper-like mentality that Shakur brings to the table. Everything that you see, I see too, but I can potentially react quicker than you. Oh, buddy, that would be a fight that potentially piques my interest in a way that in the past, I was saying, hey, Shakur is better than Ryan Garcia. And he is better than Ryan Garcia. I'm saying that right now. Shakur is better than Ryan Garcia. That's not a statement of epiphany. That's a statement of fact. We know this. But the what makes this so interesting, and again, this is a point that Showbiz the Adult, another prominent podcaster and essentially a pundit when it comes to the world of boxing on YouTube. Hey, if you haven't checked him out, check him out. He said does some really good stuff. But he brought up a quality point that I didn't recognize, but might be real. So they ain't my credit, but I'm piggybacking off the statement. He said that when it comes to Ryan Garcia, a lot of the technical people that are better than him in a pure boxing standpoint, he is able to deal with, because physically he's got the capacity to go and outclass that technique. However, if you are somebody who's also physically driven, he can struggle. One of his hardest fights that he said was against Oscar Duarte. Now, you could argue that he was a better technical fighter than Oscar Duarte, hypothetically, for the standpoint of the perception of his talent. But even though he got the knockout, he said himself, "Hey, buddy, Oscar Duarte, that was a hard out. That was not an easy display at all. Rolly Romero, he lost. He got beat. All because Rolly Romero was actually able to catch him, hurt him, knock him down, as well as with him nullifying the left hook, he was also able, in his reactions and in his quick twitch of his own, to make Ryan Garcia hesitant to respond with anything of real note. Yes, Ryan Garcia was injured in that fight, but that doesn't change what we saw. Heck, there was some hesitation beyond wanting to use any other weapons. We've even seen him use weapons against Tank Davis. The right straight. He wasn't throwing that in the fight with Rolly Romero. Uppercuts. He wasn't throwing that in the fight with Rolly Romero. He got hindered because he was somewhat shell-shocked due to, oh my gosh, this brother, he's getting to me. And some of the openings that I normally wouldn't want to take, I don't want to take anymore. Because he's beating me or meeting me at the same punch. That's dangerous. Now again, Tank, quick twitch, fast hands, as well as got pop. He was able to go and get him out of there and beat him. But if you ain't got pop or that same physical framework of I have to worry about you, all of a sudden for Ryan Garcia, it seems like he holds a whole lot easier of a time to deal with whatever you bring into the table and be able to overcome those issues of I may not be as technically proficient as you. Again, that's what Showbiz the Adult said. Now, whether you agree with it or not, I'm just bringing it up as a point that I had never looked at before when it came to Ryan Garcia and his ability. Though I knew, hey, physically he's above most people in the world of 140 or even 147. He's such a unique asset of athletic ability in what he can do, in how he can fight, in his speed, and his power. That combination, especially with his frame, my gosh, it's ridiculous. Truly it is. Whether you like him or not, and there's a lot of people that don't like Ryan Garcia, and for a good reason. Lord knows it's for a good reason, but even still, we know for a fact there's an undeniable truth. This brother is a menace to deal with. And it could be that against Shakur, hey, if he does feel that Shakur's power can't do anything to him, and his frame can walk through those types of shots, and his speed, which we know can keep up and potentially beat out Shakur, that's just because of what his ability is, it could be a situation. Now, I'm not saying he's going to win. I'm just saying from that perspective, hey, that fight may be more interesting than I may have realized in my humble estimation. But let me see. I put money on Shakur. I would too, be clear. I'm not picking Ryan Garcia if that fight took place. Let me be completely transparent. I am not picking Ryan Garcia if that fight took place for a victory. Trust me, I'm not. I know I'm not. He's getting counted to Kingdom Come. And if we do see that what Shakur's been saying, especially on Stephen A. Smith's show and a couple other podcasts, that, hey, people underestimate the power that he brings to the table, and especially what he saw when he knocked out Josh Padley, when he took the fight to Zepeda, and what he did to Teofimo Lopez with just his jab alone, again, swelling up the eyes, cutting him up, and legitimately popping his head back and walking him down like dominantly in the later rounds. Hey, we could have some. We know what Shakur can do. The issue is, again, with Ryan Garcia, with all the other capacity that we think he has as a fighter, just like what we said yesterday, the discipline, can he keep it to be able to reach that potential? Can he keep it? That's the real question. Can he keep it? Can he actually commit to making that potential possible? Can he do it? Because if he can't, my gosh, it's all for naught. It's all for naught. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He's training with Benavidez. It doesn't matter. He's training within an environment that should help him out. It doesn't matter. Why? Because it goes back to the same thing we said yesterday and Tuesday. Again, not trying to beat a dead horse, but the discipline of Ryan Garcia is what's going to make or break his entire career. It falls on him. It falls on him. It falls on. He can duck. He can go and not duck any smoke. Like he's done. He can take on the four kings of the division. They all came in at lightweight with him, Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia himself, and Tank Davis. He can do all that. He can fight for titles. He can go and try to get competition. He can do all that in a bag of chips. But the success, to some degree, is going to come out of the discipline that he brings. And at this point in time, he ain't brought it. He ain't brought it. He hasn't brought it. And because he hasn't brought it, it's like, it's a frustrating addendum, or rather, it's a frustrating agenda because we know what he can do, and he just hasn't done it. And he just hasn't done it. Here we go. I'm about to be right now. Let me see. Did you get the catch up? Yep, I was getting ready to make that point. I was getting ready to shout you out. Thank you for the 40 balls, Julius. Yes, indeed, I did. I was trying to make sure that I was reading it correctly. And so that's why it took me a minute, and I wanted to make sure I finished the point. But I was going to shout you out after I made that point with Ryan Garcia with the discipline sentiments that I had. But yeah, thank you for the 40 bones. Thank you for giving arms to the Empire. I believe that is the largest. Yeah, I believe that's the largest chat or Cash App, or just straight up anything that we've gotten on this channel. Sir, you've broken the record. My gosh, you've broken the record. Congratulations on being a new record holder. The highest of highs when it comes to giving to, when it comes to supporting this community in a one donation sentiment. Thank you for the homes to the Empire. Thank you for supporting the channel. Look, we understand you didn't have to. The fact that you did out of your own volition means the world to me, and I appreciate it so much. No question about it. You again, it's a blessing, man. It is indeed a blessing. I understand you could have given it to anybody else, and there's a plenty of people that deserve it. The fact that you chose us to support the channel, man, it really does my heart good. It really does. And it shows me, hey, we're doing something right. We may be small, but we're mighty, and we're gonna grow when we get out there. Oh Lord, it's gonna be, we're gonna have who knows who strolling through these doors. Who knows who coming on this stream. Who knows who. Pundits and media folk. Stephen, hey, shoot, we're going to have Stinking Teddy Atlas. We're going to have Terrence Crawford. We're going to have Shakur, Ryan. We might just have a panel all our own. Having the 5 best fighters in the world all talking smack to each other. Who knows what we're going to do? The sky's the limit for this channel. And we're going to make it do what it do. But we appreciate you helping to make this a reality. And it means so much to me. I appreciate it so much. No question about it. Also, is my stream bugging out for real? Hold on. Are we good? Okay, we're good. I don't look like I was going a million miles a minute. I do apologize. But thank you so much for the support. Thank you so much for helping us out. And appreciate you for the 40 bones, record-breaking chat, record-breaking essential support. And hey, we're going to keep it going and keep it rocking. And we appreciate it so much. And hey, hopefully you'll want to stick around even more. Hey, we're going to make it worth your while. No question about it. But let me keep reading what you all had to say. We got a lot of people still chatting in the chat as well. Shakur rather fight Ryan than Murataya. Who's better fighter in your opinion? Ooh. Shakur rather fight Ryan Garcia than Murataya. Who's a better fighter? Now, see, oh man. Murataya, on a technical level, better than Ryan Garcia. Yes, but as a fighter, I think that Ryan is a better fighter. Now, here's why. Again, we touched on the technique versus the athleticism. When I said that Ryan Garcia's athletic ability, what he knows how to do, he can do it better than most in the globe. He can. He really can. It's a Deontay Wilder type of complex in some degree. Deontay Wilder, when he was fighting, he was not the most skilled heavyweight at all. Nowhere close, but it was the fact that understanding how to use his athleticism was in such a way that it was above the rest of the globe from the standpoint of, yeah, I'm a quick trigger. I am a rangy, long fighter, and I've mastered this one tool that can negate all your other tools that you've had. It might be the only thing I got, but sure enough, it's gonna work to tear everybody down. That's what he did. With Ryan Garcia, it's somewhat of a similar thing. Now, he's got more instinctual abilities, absolutely. The seeing counter windows and capitalizing on them, being able to go and tag folks before they can see a punch coming, anticipating shots, it is there. Now, the offense may be not nearly as abounding as we want it to be, as we know it can be for the fighter that is Ryan Garcia in the weapons that he should be able to have at his disposal. But in what he does have, he is so hard to face and beat. Truly. For real. It's just, again, Murtire is a better technical fighter, absolutely. But as a fighter straight up, I'd say Ryan Garcia is better. If I was picking Ryan Garcia versus Murtire, I would lean towards Ryan Garcia because what he does know how to do when he's on, though it may not be as much as Murtire, it can negate a lot of things that Murtire does. Mind you, some of those same shots that Andy Cruz was hitting Murtire with, Ryan Garcia would have been able to hit him with. But the difference is that speed and being able to get to you, coupled with the power, that kind of that changes the thing. That changes. At least for me. At least for me. At least for me, from what I see. Now, I will say, that does not mean he can't get beat. That does not mean I would not be wary of Murtire if he did move up to 140 and fight against Ryan Garcia, or 147. Oh, Lord. My gosh. Because I do know, hey, if he does indeed have the capacity to handle that speed and negate the best weapon that is the left hook in the delivery system that left hook would be trying to be, or that left hook would come by, then yeah, he's got enough skills that he can't beat him. And if his frame is indeed able to balloon up like I think it can, he's got the durability to be able to take potentially that power that we see Ryan Garcia throw against every other fighter. And so I'm not saying that Murtire can't beat Ryan Garcia. I know it's in fact the reality. I just think that as a fighter, because of what when Ryan Garcia is on, what he's able to do with that even limited skill set has been able to negate the vastness of other skills that other fighters who are more well-rounded, there's a lot of fighters that are better well-rounded, have been able to do. And in all honesty, the question of could he, if Murtire got tagged by Ryan, because he's going to get tagged, as good of a fighter he is, he's going to get caught. Could I trust him to be able to take that power for 12 rounds and still be able to do what he did against Andy Cruz? I don't know. That's the biggest question. But that's my thing. That's my thing. That's my thing. But let me see what you all got to say. The way it. Oh shoot. Yeah, the way. Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on a minute. Hold on. Let me get it turned on. Wait a minute. Wait. I'm using my TV right now. Where's the zone? I knew it. See, we're barely an hour in. I knew I got it right. Hold on. I'm about to look. I'm about to get this. The live stream up. Oh, is it on the zone or is it on the ring? I can't remember which doggone it, which thing is it on? I'm not missing this thing. I'm not missing this at all. We gonna get this live stream. It's getting ready to come on. When it comes on, we're gonna be here. Now, full disclosure, I can't show this. I can't show it. I ain't got the rights to show it, but we can watch it together on your respective devices where you are and react to what we see and all that and all that stuff. But I look, okay, I ain't the Wade concept. Okay, I ain't Phil Wade. I'm not. I ain't showbiz. I ain't got that type of tenure and that type of accent yet. I ain't got it yet. It's coming. Lord willing, it's coming soon. But I ain't got that yet. We won't be able to react and respond accordingly to the screen as it comes through. So I'm excited to see it. No question about it. Let me see. For life, I think. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Israelite for life. I think Murataya is a better fighter. Ryan is a bigger draw, in my opinion. And that's fair. That's fair. That is fair. Unquestionably, Ryan Garcia is one of the biggest draws in all of boxing. That's not even a question. Skill-wise, yeah, if you want to say Murataya is better, I have no issue with that. Especially when he showed against Andy Cruz, dealing with a slick fighter, being able to go and walk and stalk him down, cutting off the ring, being able to parry a lot of shots that we see Andy Cruz throw. There's a lot of stuff that he did that Ryan Garcia, as much of a physical ability as he has, he can't give it like that. He can't, in terms of, he can't do that to that degree. We've seen flashes, but again, the consistency. That's what, just like we said with Tio, Ryan Garcia, the same thing. The consistency of Ryan Garcia is something that is a big dilemma when looking at these other big time fighters. No question about it. But let me see. Burr, you had chatted something, and I was getting ready to read it, but then you deleted it before I could click on it. Chat what you had said. It was something reference to Murataya, and I wanted to see what you had to say, and I'll read it in response. But I'll read this other thing that you put earlier in the chat. But Shakur isn't going to move up. What's the point of being another tank weight-drained fighter? You know, I feel like he should become undisputed and fight the people in his weight class. No, hey, I'm down for that. We've talked about reigning as a champion in this division. I like a reigning champion. I want somebody to do what we see Inoue do, to do what we see Canelo do, to do what we see Bam Rodriguez do. Clean out everybody in your vicinity. Do what Usyk did. Clean out everybody at heavyweight, and then before that, clean out everybody at cruiserweight. A reigning champion is a great champion. And he's got so much talent. Absolutely. I would love to see him go against the likes of Frank Martin, Gary Antoine Russell, Dalton Smith. Don't forget, he just beat and knocked out the likes of Sabril Matias. All of a sudden, the boogeyman is dead. Long live the new king in terms of Dalton Smith, who's reigning as a champion. He's got belts to hold. He's got places to conquer. He can go over to the UK and fight Dalton Smith and have himself a breakout performance for a new audience. He can come over here to the States and beat up everybody else. He become undisputed. We don't see anybody else beating him at 140. But but you have to understand the mindset of Shakur at this point in time, whether you may agree with it or not. Look at the back burner of the WBC fallout with Tank Davis and with Shakur Stevens. As much as becoming a champion would be adamant, it's not Shakur's focus anymore. And again, and I see what you're chatting real quick. Let me read that and I'll go back to the point at hand. But the championship moniker, while it does mean something, and it still is valuable, the idea that the fighter is more important than the championship started to become more prevalent in the minds of people like Shakur, Keyshawn Davis, and others around this division. Which means now I still am the man, and because of that, me being in the ring is more important than a belt that I'm fighting for, even unifying as a whole. So, y'all want the biggest fights. I want the biggest fights. Let me go get the biggest fights, because that's where the legacy lies. In this current new frame of thinking involving what the championship means to fighters, at least in my estimation. But again, I would love to hear your thoughts on whether or not that's a right or wrong sentiment. But let me see what you all got to say. And Burr, I'm still waiting to see the comment that you put out. You had said something about Murataya, and I couldn't click on it before you deleted it. I think it was something. I think it was something involving the amateurs, and I would love to hear what it was, because it might be enlightening me on something that I did not know. So please, if you can, send it to put it in the chat so I can read it out. But let me see. To be honest, Ryan Garcia is way more skilled than those guys. Started from a YouTuber, then this Devin Haney. The way he did to the 1% PPD, whatever they had him in. Shake my head. Guy Ryan gonna tear the whole division up. And there's something else to it. Shakur's on his high horse. This is the highest it's gonna get for him. Let's not forget he's still boring and not that exciting. And okay, so this is a twofold. It's a twofold response. So We'll start with Ryan Garcia. Well, actually, let me start with Shakur. Shakur, this is the highest that he's gotten to. I don't think this is going to be the highest he's going to get to. I vehemently don't think this is going to be the highest that he's going to get to. Honestly, he's too special to have this be the pinnacle of what he can do. Doesn't mean he can't get beat, but it does mean he's got his life and career, especially now being seen as closer to that all around, even casual audience fan base are able to recognize him, especially what he did in New York. He's closer to a stardom that opens doors in ways that wasn't able to do it in the past. I don't think this is the highest for him. Now, I do think he's going to keep on winning. You can think his style is boring. I think his style is indeed great. From the standpoint of, yes, he ain't knocking everybody out. However, from the elegance of execution, it's something that it's rare that I've seen. And we touched on this even yesterday. If he's not your cup of tea stylistically, I understand. But the skills of what he does, and again, with his hands being healthy, he walked down Josh Padley. He walked down and fought Zepeda in the middle of the ring. The biggest volume puncher. He went and punched with him, blow for blow, and still beat him in every accord. And then he goes and he boxes T.O., he counters T.O., and he walks down T.O. in the later half of the fight, in the last 3 or 4 rounds. The only round that he lost definitively was round 8 when he took a round off. Outside of that, he was laying heavy leather, messes up his face, does all this stuff, wins dominantly. And fans weren't leaving the stadium. Again, I don't think he's a boring fighter anymore, because he's using all the tools in his tool belt in a way that I had asked him to do years ago, since the De Los Santos fight, since the Hartunian fight, when he fought Hartunian and could have knocked out Hartunian. However, he didn't go for it. Why? Because he was still operating under the notion everybody is dangerous at all times. His words, not mine. When you're fresh, you're too dangerous to go at. And if you're hurt, that's the most dangerous position a fighter can be in. So you don't want to risk anything in any regard. He said that. That's a quote. That's what he said. And he was fighting like that. He got out of that, thankfully. Doesn't mean he's going to go and knock everybody out and going to go stinking Eastside Cruz, Deontay Wilder, or he's going to be, looking for a KO every night. But he is fighting with more fervor than we've seen from an offensive perspective, which I can enjoy. So I don't think he's boring. But if you do, hey, I'm not going to fight you, because everybody's got their own strokes when it comes to what boxing should look like for them. Even though outside of legitimate running like what we saw with William Skull or Devin Haney against Jose Ramirez, everything is all boxing. Though it ain't everybody's cup of tea. But that's what I say on Shakur. Now, let me read Burrs, and I'm going to go to your second comment with Ryan Garcia, because that's where the skill conversation really does come into play for Ryan. But let me see what you got to say, Burr. I mentioned Murataya winning Ryan 3 times. Oh, in the amateurs. That's why I was asking who's the better fighter. Oh, okay. All right. I did not know that. Hey, wait a minute now. Now, that's different. I didn't know that. I didn't know that Ryan Garcia had been beaten by Raymond Murataya in the amateurs when he was coming up before the pros. That's news to me. Now, I didn't think you were hating it all. It's a genuine question, because, again, going back to, and I'm about to just piggyback into Julius's comment, the skills argument with Ryan, it's somewhat of a conundrum when we talk about it, because we know, even when I was watching, before even knowing this about Murataya beating Ryan Garcia multiple times in the amateurs, I was saying, as a technical fighter, yeah, Murataya is better. He can do more stuff. He's got a bag that is more intricate, defensively and offensively. And we just saw with Andy Cruz on arguably the best performance in Murataya's career. That's why, before that, I was like, yeah, I think he's more technically proficient. But the issue is Ryan, and this goes back to Julius's comment earlier. Ryan being seen as more skillful is, in my opinion, the skills from Ryan are not based in the technique, but it's based more so in the reactions. You can be a great technical fighter, absolutely, in the means of doing the stuff the right way. The punches are clean and sublime. The footwork, great. Knowing what to do and all that stuff because you trained over and over. You refined the process, mastering the technique through practice. Then there's another form, while it ain't, then there's another form that you can almost argue is intangibles. The raw ability, something that you just have. With Wilder, it was length and speed. With Ryan Garcia, it's speed, size, and in all honesty, reaction time and power. The physical framework of using your body in a way that it just comes to you. That, while it ain't the same purest, pugilistic technical ability, it is indeed it's a ridiculous means of operation that if you can master your own body, all of a sudden, you can still compete with people that, my jab is sharper than you. I'm able to, I can see all the stuff coming, yeah, but I just do the stuff because I understand and I operate to the fullest capacity of what my body can do. We talk about this with John Boost in this as well. And again, if you don't agree, understand them. I would love to hear your thoughts. But when it comes to Ryan Garcia, as a fighter, some stuff he just does, a lot of the knockouts that you see him do, it's off strictly just reaction. And trusting, okay, hey, I'm quick enough to do this. It's a risk, but so what? Boom. It's a risk, but so what? Boom. I'm a catcher. I'm going to get to you. Though I don't have the same, maybe I don't have the same skill sets and the same refinement. Me trusting my body, I can do what I need to do in a way that you just can't. John Boost Ennis, similar thing. Though his technique has been legitimately refined, innately in him. What makes him so elite is the fact that he operates in a way that the way that his body is able to move, react, and respond and make stuff go. It is a testament to a greatness. And more than anything, it's a testament to just straight up, this cat is just able to do stuff that just shouldn't be possible by normal means. Yet it's able to happen. And because he trusts his body fully, he can take chances and do things that, oh my gosh, even with technique, you just can't stop that. Because you just ain't got that. That's what makes Ryan, in my opinion, such a conundrum. Because while we know there's people that are definitely more skilled than him, what he does in the ring, because he trusts himself, he's able to overcompensate for that and say it doesn't matter. And beat people that, okay, hey, this brother wasn't more skilled than we thought. And so it's, at least from my perspective, now again, if you don't agree, perfectly fine. And I want to hear your thoughts on it. But that's how I view Ryan Garcia's skill. The brother can fight. He can brawl. He will get up. But we know, we've seen the flaws. We've seen them exposed. But we've also seen him be able to overcome people that are like, it should have been you can't do anything against him. Yet, he's still more than just finding a way. He's dominating in regards. And so it's a conundrum. Because you can't say he's not skilled when he's beating people that are legit like, hey, this is a real talent. Now, granted, the best example would have been Devin Haney, but the whole PED situation has everything muddied for a lot of people. And so, do people take that rightly or not? It depends on who you ask, if I'm going to be completely honest. But from this point on, I'll say this, from this point on, the barometer of what your skill set is going to be, or what we see your skill set as now, it truly does start here. Of answering those questions, how good are you? Legitimately. Where's your skill level at, actually? It starts here. We're kind of in a reset right now. It's kind of been that second wind after defeat. Okay, you had a downfall, trying to come back and be something. Great, let's see what you can do. Now is your time to get serious about fully encapsulating what you're going to be. And we're going to find out exactly if this sentiment is true. Is he really skillful? Does he have and can he show the refinement in technique, or is it simply the physical capabilities and the instinctual nature of Ryan Garcia? Is what he is as a fighter, which isn't bad, but beyond that, it's not as deep of a bag of skill that we expect him to have. At least going forward, that's my estimation of what we could see. But let me say a correction. Due to the help of Crawford and Mayweather, Shakur has become more exciting fighters, but he still ain't on Ryan level. Now see, I gotta push back with that. I gotta push back with that. I gotta push back with that. I'm sorry, I do. I gotta push back with it there. I can't say. I believe for a fact Shakur is better than Ryan Garcia. I believe for a fact. And you are right. The influence of Floyd Mayweather and the direct training of Terrence Crawford has indeed helped out Shakur to become the minutes of a monster that we see going in. In fact, I even got to do it. We even got a clip of let me see if I can find it real quick. Hold on, give me 1 second. Let me see if I can find this clip of Shakur talking about him and Terrence Crawford and the influence that he has on his career. Give me 1 minute, because this is important. It should be here, right? It should be here, right? Is it not here? Dang, hold on, wait a minute, wait a minute, hold on. Here we go, okay, here we go, hold on, I got it now. Because he talked about how he started training with him, how he started working with Terrence Crawford, how Terrence Crawford whooped him, and I mean whooped him. And then afterwards, he was able to train with him every day, get better and better and better. And then ultimately, through that constant training, as well as his tutelage, turned him into the fighter that we see right now. I thought we had the class. Is it not here? Stephen, you ain't upload that? Good God, come on now. See, okay, yeah, they tripping. I don't know why the word, I can't find the footage, but either way, we'll continue. That's what happened. That's what transpired. It's good. It's good because we see, when we see Shakur adapting and evolving, changing. We see him getting out of that shell of over-conservative nature and he turning into, okay, this brother, he's throwing some more bows. He's taking some more risky chances that and normally he wouldn't have been doing. He's standing flat-footed in front of his guy, which he's done for the most of his career, but he's even more anticipating being able to land and counter stuff instead of just catch, one jab, and then you really get out of dodge. He's getting more confident in the framework of, I can be a menace, just like the brother that trained me. I can open up I can pop the clutch more than I normally would be comfortable with. Why? Because one, I've dealt with Crawford and the best of the best, and so y'all ain't him. And two, I've picked up stuff from Crawford that has helped me to more refine and add to a bag that, if I'm being completely honest, I didn't know I could use. And because that is the case, the brother's evolved and he's slowly but surely, he's getting more and more fan friendly. It might not be by much. Trust me, it might not be by much. And Lord knows it ain't by much. But it's to the point that he's getting respect from a populace that wasn't giving him respect before. Which, stylistically, hey, I'm down for. I'm absolutely down for. Let me see what you guys say. I'll put Shakur in the ring with Carissa Shields. Nah, she getting beat. She getting beat. And I love Carissa. One of the greatest female fighters we've ever seen. one of the greatest, the GOAT for a reason. She is on pace to be in that, to be firmly holding that position, but not. She ain't beating him. Very few people are beating Devin Haney at this point in time. Let me see. We're talking about the same rider who was put down by Rolly. No, yeah, we are. Like I said, this is not me saying. This is not me saying that Ryan Garcia is oh my gosh, the end all be all. He can do it all. I'm saying, again, when we look at the consistency, the discipline, as well as what his potential can be, Ryan Garcia is a conundrum. Because he's been able to compete with Devin Haney. If you took the PEDs out of that fight, however, because people say it didn't affect him, people say it did, whatever it consider, you take that out of that fight and you just watch that fight straight up. All of us going into that fight, before we knew he was on anything, when that fight ended, we were saying, oh my gosh, we did not think Ryan Garcia could do something like this. And at the highest of highs, again, he's been able to do something spectacular. Teofimo Lopez, same conversation. Up and down career. Ebbs and flows. Hills and mountains. Or rather, hills and valleys. We didn't know what we were going to get on a night-to-night basis, because at his best, he's beaten Josh Taylor. He's beaten Lomachenko. At his worst, though he had, a situation with his lungs, he lost to Kambosos. He struggled against Martin, and he should have lost that fight. And he struggled against Jermaine Ortiz. And so we don't know what the world we were going to see and expect from a fighter who he's shown he can be the best in the world. But he's also shown that he can beat or he can lose to people that are fodder for anybody remotely close to Teofimo's level, like Kambosos. And with Ryan Garcia, we are all looking at his career and saying, brother, do we trust you to have a consistent dominant career against anybody? This is why that fight may be a big affair, Shakur versus Ryan. I'm not picking Ryan on any day against that fight. Because, brother, I don't know how in the world, or rather what in the world we going to see. There's no, on Terrence Crawford, I could hang my hat on what we were going to see from him. Errol Spence, I could hang my hat. In a way, Canelo, Benavidez, Bivol, Archer Beterbiev, Usyk, Tyson Fury even. I could hang my hat on what we've seen. Even the likes of Anthony Joshua, with all of the questions abounding after his loss against Andy Ruiz, and subsequently after he was trying to refuel his confidence for upwards of 4 fights before the Daniel Dubois fight, I was at least able to eventually hang my hat on, okay, it might be a little bit rocky, but I know what Anthony Joshua I'm going to get. That's the thing that I just, with Ryan at this point in time, I just can't see it. Let me see, I definitely want to see Ryan and Devin running back without the pad. Yes, yeah, absolutely. You could, and mind you, this fight, again, the ripples of time, the ripples of this current landscape in boxing are very big, abounding when it comes to this fight, because Ryan Garcia beating Barrios puts him in position to fight Devin Haney for a unified title. And it's too much money for Devin Haney to ignore. It's too much money for any promotion to not want to put that under their wing. It's too much hype that it would be considered one of the 3 biggest fights of this year, only backed or only above and or under Nakatani versus Inoue over in Japan. And then doggone if we see a big fight down the line later in the year with Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury. That's it. That would be, that might even lead as the most anticipated fight of this year. Devin versus Ryan in a rematch, strictly off the backs of all the talk, all the smack, all of the rhetoric, all of the action that happened in that fight, with the lawsuits, with the suing, with this, that, and third, and the complete and utter circus that was the build-up, the fight, and the aftermath. It's a perfect storm. People have been clamoring for that rematch for upwards of 2 years now. Upwards of 2 years. If it had happened that Ryan Garcia was only banned for 6 months, that fight would have probably happened earlier last year. Shoot, let's be perfectly honest. The Riyadh season card in New York City, that was T.O., Devin, Ryan Garcia, that was supposed to set up Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney in a rematch that end of year instead of fighting Brian Norman Jr. That's what it was supposed to be. That's what it was supposed to be. Just like Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua was supposed to be a setup when they both fought on the same card. It was supposed to be a setup when Anthony Joshua fought Otto Wallin, Wilder fought Joseph Parker. They both were supposed to win, and then they get a big fight with each other, potentially over in the UK or over here in the States for a position to get a championship opportunity. But in just a clash of two of the biggest power punchers of that era of boxing, we were supposed to get it. We were supposed to get it. We were supposed to get it. And we didn't. And it was a shame. It backfired, blew up in the faces of the globe. And it's so many times we've been waiting and anticipating these types. Sometimes it works, with Bebo and Better Biev. They fought against each other and we got a rematch out of it. Absolutely. Sometimes it works like with Nakatani in a way. They both won their fights, even though it was skin of his teeth. For Nakatani getting by Hernandez, skin of his teeth. But he got it done. Sometimes it works out, but this fight was supposed to happen well before right now. Well before. So, when I say it's do or die for Ryan Garcia, it's do or die because of the fact that, brother, most likely, if we don't get that fight happening now, it won't happen. Most likely. If we don't get that fight happening now with a win against Barrios, it won't happen. I say that in the most downtrodden way because we are looking at a crossroads in career where a loss here for a lot of fans would validate, even after the Rolly loss, would further validate he needed Austrian to beat Devin Haney. He wasn't actually on the level of Devin Haney. That was a one-night fluke. We don't need to see that anymore. And it's going to be done. The catch in Ryan Garcia in everything hinges on this win. It does. And he's taking it seriously. I hope so. He's looking to go and really put the pedal to the metal. I hope so. He's trying to make himself back at the peak of the boxing world with a win to make him not just, he's always going to be relevant, but more so a win to make him even more conscientious in the minds of the boxing fans as a whole. All of that hinges on this fight. It all hinges. It all hinges. Every last thing hinges on him getting this done. Because if he doesn't, boys, it's going down to 2. It's going to be down to 2. It's going to be down to 2. That's what's going to happen. And I don't want to see that, but that's the risk. Let me see. Yes, I do agree. If Ryan tomorrow, Devin and Ryan will be one of the biggest fights of 2026. That would sell. Where do you want the fight? Where do you want it? You want it in Madison Square Garden? You want it in Dallas, Texas? Do you want it in Las Vegas, Nevada? Do you want it in, you want it in the Crypto Center, or it should be called Staples Center? You want it down in Florida? It's a who's who. It doesn't matter where. It's going to be Miami. Good gosh, you put that fight in Miami. Oh, Lord. You put that fight in Miami Stadium. Put with all of the rhetoric and everything surrounding that fight, put that fight in Miami Stadium where the Dolphins play, where they just had the college football championship. You put that there. Oh, buddy. It's the perfect storm for an absolute firestorm of complete insanity in the best way possible. I'd love to see it. It's the perfect setting. It is the perfect setting. It's the perfect setting. I hope, now more than ever I want this fight to be done. Now more than ever I want him to win. Because I need to see that. I need to see Ryan and Devin in Miami. A month-long build down in Miami. with all of the glitz and glamour that would accompany it. All that being said, let me see. Ryan spanks Devin again. Ah. Ah. Ah.
Hey, look at this. We got some problems
Ah.
here. We got some
Really?
problems here.
Really? Really now. Ryan Garcia beats Devin Haney again clean. It's not as much of a shocking sentiment as you may think. Now, again, when I broke down this fight before PEDs, roughly like 2 years ago, we broke it down immensely. The very way I said Ryan would beat Devin Haney was because he was going to walk through Devin Haney's shots. He was going to be able to impose his will and make it so that Devin Haney couldn't physically be the dominant force like he likes to be in all the fights. Being the bigger man, the longer man, the stronger. He might not be able to punch, but he's a strong brother. He's a strong brother. At 147, yeah, he's shown he got some more pop now, which is great. But he also showed that against Progress at 140, and it didn't knock anybody else out afterwards. But I digress. The point being, the brother physically may not be a consistent, strong puncher, but he strong outright. He walked down Brian Norman Jr. He controlled Brian Norman Jr. even in the clinch. But Ryan Garcia, I said, was going to be able to control him when in close quarters. Use that speed to counter that jab and make it so that the best weapon becomes obsolete against the blazing speed and power. And it happened just like that. Now, can Ryan Garcia replicate that again with this newfound version of Devin Haney, especially clean, and without any need of gotta come into? And mind you, he came into that fight weight. Mind you, he came in just like with Lemos when he came into the fight. Though it wasn't as egregious when he came in at 168 against Keyshawn Davis. Ryan Garcia weighed in 143. He weighed in he weighed in at 143 pounds. So it could have been that fight got canceled, and people look down on people blowing up in weight. Though people call, him a weight bully in terms of Devin Haney. So trying to balance fair play for a lot of people from that perspective. But regardless of which, can he emulate that same game plan again? Cleanly. There's an argument that yes, he can. Really is. But it's going to be, I say that it's contingent on this fight with Barrios. Because if he's going to do that against Devin Haney, though Barrios is a more destructive puncher, is a more rangy fighter, is taller, and all that stuff, to firmly put it in my mind, okay, yes, you can handle that and do it right this time. He's got to do that same thing against Barrios. Yes. It's not because Barrios is better than Devin Haney. It's because Barrios physically is at a spectrum that is similar to the physical dominance that we see Devin Haney have on a night-to-night basis, going up against people when he normally is ballooning up on the night of the fight and outclassing. He does this against this Barrios, again, clean. I can have some more confidence that, yeah, he can do it against the likes of Devin Haney. I can. But it's going to be contingent. But the opportunity is there. And he can beat him. I think people get lost in the sauce of Devin Haney and the PEDs and all that stuff that Ryan Garcia did, from the fact that there is a real opportunity that this same instance that same type of destructive nature can happen again without PEDs. For real. Absolutely for real. But let me see. Who would be a bigger fight for Ryan if he wins tomorrow? Devin or Shakur? Devin Haney. It would be Devin Haney. And it's because the recent run of animosity, of contention, conversation between Devin Haney, or between Shakur and Ryan Garcia, it's relatively new. Nobody was really thinking about that fight at all. It can be a reality, but nobody was really looking at that fight as, okay, that's a thing that we can see happen. Ryan Garcia's at 147. Devin Haney's at 147. Shakur's at 140. Shakur just got to 140. His first fight at 140 was against Tio. It's an incredible win, but he just got there. Moving up again. 7 pounds this time. Might be a little bit of a stretch from the standpoint of does he want to push his body like that? Not saying he can't, but it's a risk nonetheless. And does he want to bask in that victory? There's options on the table, but the immediate vicinity looks more likely for Shakur unless he chooses to move the other way. But for Ryan, that Devin Haney fight, if he wins, is in the immediate vicinity. Both of them are at 147. Both of them are champions, and the hype surrounding that fight is upwards of almost 3 years in the making. There's history in the amateurs. There's history in the professional. There's history in front of the camera and behind the scenes. The fans despise each other. The trainers and fathers don't like each other. The media has picked a side to the point that it turned into its own mini culture war because of that first fight, even the build-up to that fight with Devin Haney. Mind you, another point that I don't even like to use when it comes to the situations of boxing, but the racial rhetoric that was also surrounding when it came to Ryan Garcia and that whole diatribe of insanity that he had done, I think, but even before the Devin Haney fight, people were saying we wanted Devin Haney to beat this brother's butt. Get him out of here. Show him what's really what. I don't like using that as a sentiment, but the reality is, to some degree, race in boxing is sadly intertwined. Both barrier breaking as well as used as a means for supremacy or to show dominance and supremacy of one race over another. It's documented. For real. It's bad, but it's the fact of what is also cultivated a level of further injury. Promoters are even upfront about it. Again, I'm not using that as the biggest end-all be-all. I'm saying that was even an ingredient into the bigger cauldron of complete and utter manic reaction to this fight beforehand, during, and after. There's no way that Shakur would be a bigger fight than Devin Haney. Only because Shakur doesn't have that type of backing when it comes to weighted rivalry. In this sense, for Shakur, Ryan Garcia wouldn't even be the biggest fight he can make. Remember, we got to look at this from the other perspective. Even for Ryan Garcia, even for Shakur Stevenson, Ryan Garcia is not the biggest fight he can make with him being a champion. The biggest fight he can make is with Gervonta Davis. That's been a fight 5 years in the making. That's been a fight that's been talked about for even longer than Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia. That's been a fight that's had an even bigger or at least an even more consistent burning desire to answer the question, brother, who's the best at 135? Can your boxing beat my power? That was for about 2 years. The amount of fans that were dismissing Shakur, talking against Shakur, bringing up Shakur's name even when he wasn't even in the conversation, because they were trying to say Tank was the end-all be-all. But that was the truth. That made that fight elevate so much more to the point it became a fever pitch. After Frank Martin, we were like, all right, Shakur's next. Straight up, the biggest fight of the year. We were getting people on ESPN talking about that fight with Shakur and Tank consistently. We were talking about that. Mind you, Stephen A. Smith, if I got my stuff correct, Stephen A. Smith, when talking about boxing, and again, talking about not even Shakur Stevenson, I think he was talking about Usyk and Fury, was bringing up the fact boxing ain't where it needs to be. Boxing ain't what it's supposed to be. We ain't getting no real big fights like Shakur versus Tank. Brought it up, I believe he brought it up on either his own show or on public television. Either way, that stuff, that one fight got brought up in instances where it didn't even need to get brought up. That's how big that fight is. That fight is the biggest fight Shakur can make, not even with Ryan Garcia. The one bad thing about these two fighting against each other is that this is not the biggest opportunity they can get, even though it's against them, because of the connection and the story that already got told with the other rival. We always talk about it we always say it on this show. You got business to handle. There's work you got to do. There is you got to run through the ringer. You got faces all around you. None bigger. That's the emphasis. None bigger than this non-negotiable. Talk about that on this show. Non-negotiables in a career are people, no matter what you do throughout your entire career, your career will never feel as complete as it can be unless you fight this one person. Does not diminish what your career is, but there is a ceiling that you may not get to if you don't fight this guy. Win, lose, or draw. We say it with Canelo and David Benavidez. In fact, even with that being the case, shoot, we even got an update right now on that whole situation as Zurdo Ramirez is officially announced now on PBC. Zurdo versus Benavidez. They fighting for the cruiserweight title. It's happening. It's going down. It's going down on May 2nd. It's official, which I'm excited for. Crazy enough, the news got broke to us by MS. Another chat who comes in on stream. Salute to you, brother, wherever you are. He broke the news to us, I think, weeks before it even came out. Gave us the first ever inside scoop I got was this fight. And I said, yo, this is true. My gosh, it's insane. And we went through the whole diatribe of what Benavidez would be seen as pound for pound if he got this done. And he's going for it, which is insane. But this fight, mind you, for Benavidez isn't even the biggest fight that Benavidez can make. Though he's making his own legacy. It's Canelo. And for Canelo, for his legacy to get to where to reach a even bigger pinnacle, this already gotten to. Though it won't diminish, it can't grow to the same degree when it's all said and done unless he fights Benavidez. That's the perspective. For Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney right now, they're kind of locked in they're locked at the hip with each other. For better or for worse. Shakur and Tank. More so for Shakur than Tank, but still locked at the hip. To some degree, it's a one-sided situation where X's career isn't going to be viewed that differently without facing off against Y. As we know, again, Canelo's career is going to be more defined by him not fighting Benavidez than Benavidez not fighting Canelo. But because of the context surrounding it, Tank's career is going to be defined by not fighting Shakur Stevenson instead of Shakur not fighting Tank because of the context around it. That, in the context for these two fights right now, yeah, if they did happen, oh boy, you would see the amount of coverage that would take place. I would be seeing this on Stinging World News. I kid you not. Because record sales will be broken. Tickets would sell out within 30 minutes. Campaigns will be going left, right, and center. City blocks will be taken over. If Ryan Garcia fought Devin Haney. I'm telling you, it will be insane. It will be absolutely ridiculous. Let me see. For life, 100%. Yeah, man, I'm glad you agree. I'm glad you agree because of the fact that that's what's at stake. The current end goal for Ryan Garcia is Devin Haney. Bill Haney even put him on 10th on the list. I guarantee you, if that fight does indeed come about and Ryan starts calling him out and say, I want a champion or I want to be unified, let's get this work again, I'd be hard pressed to say, yeah, they ain't making that fight. They making it. After this is when the question comes of what's next. That's the thing. Once that dust settles, then we ask, okay, what's next now? What can we do now? And if anything, and I'm not trying to drone on, but we're connecting dots here. And we're trying to tell a story. If anything, if we did see Ryan Garcia beat Devin Haney and become unified, wouldn't that make a fight for Shakur Stevenson and Ryan Garcia even more of a big-time spectacle than it would be if they fought immediately. Because think about it. The biggest opportune biggest opponent, the biggest threat to Shakur right now throughout 135 to 147 is Devin Haney. I would say Tank, but Tank isn't here right now because of his own actions. But it would be Devin Haney. If we saw that fight happen and Ryan Garcia beat him, all of a sudden Ryan Garcia versus Shakur, hey buddy, I beat the man who was supposed to be your biggest test, and I did it clean. Now, do you want to come up here and take my titles like you did against Tio? Or do you want to catch weight and I take your belt at 140? Either way, I'm the biggest dog now that's in your immediate vicinity, and there's nobody else for me that I need to handle business with, and all the focus, all of the hype can be on you taking on me. Not just Ryan Garcia, but a Ryan Garcia that's reached his potential. A Ryan Garcia that if he beat Devin Haney, you couldn't say he wouldn't be pound for pound top 10. That's not me trying to hype up stuff. That's not me trying to push the envelope. If Ryan Garcia beat Devin Haney in a potential year down the line, after beating Barrios, with Devin Haney, when he beat Brian Oman Jr., getting to at minimum 8th in the world. If Ryan did that and beat Devin Haney, especially if he beat him dominantly, cleanly, would it be out of the question to say, okay, we have to put him somewhere on pound for pound because this brother, and there's Devin Haney, deserved his position, and Ryan Garcia seemingly just mopped the floor with him. This time clean. The context of that first fight, if it looks like the second fight, and he does it clean the second fight, all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, yeah, we vastly underestimated Ryan Garcia. We got to put him somewhere, at least close. And then you would get Shakur all of a sudden, okay, hey, you still want to be seen as the best in the world? Now you got to go through somebody else who is around you. You're still at 4th, 3rd, or for some people 2nd or 1st, whatever they have. You're still there. But now you got a competition that is hungry and just beat the other best technical savant that we got in boxing right now. What you're going to do, that's what can happen. That's what can take place. I'm that's what, you on fire. Look, I'm just giving you, I don't know if I'm on fire or not. I'm just trying to give you the perspective. But this is why, not trying to be a dead horse, but this is why I keep on telling you, the ripple effects of this weekend are immense. It's not just about the immediate of what can happen with Shakur or what can happen at 147 or 140. Because both stories are going to be written because you got a bunch of fighters at 140 and at 147 fighting on this card, with the biggest of them being, again, Barrios and Ryan Garcia. But there's going to be a lot of moving waves that can turn into tsunamis off of the backs of the results of this win or lose. Let's not forget, but if Ryan Garcia loses this fight, my gosh, what is there left for him to do in terms of to get to have the hype around him? What else is there? You lose to Barrios and you lose to Rolly, the two people that are supposed to be, for anybody of the elite caliber, fodder. Where do you go from there? How did the public look? What is the public supposed to look at you as? Not supposed to look at you as somebody that's elite. Let's be honest. They're not going to look at you as somebody that's elite. The road, forget championship status, the road just to get back to the semblance of perception that you had is going to be long and arduous. As long and as arduous as winning a championship. Mind you, we've seen falls from greats before that never recover. Adrian Broner, perfect example, was on top of the world, lost to Mike Donna, and then lost to Pacquiao. And subsequently afterwards, what did he do? His career went down the toilet. Some of it because of his own volition, some of it because of the fact that he just couldn't win. But all of it was irreparable. Irreparable damage. Charlo, perfect example. His star power is in the gutter. I don't care if he still is a name that people want to see. They still want to see it. But compare where Charlo is today to where Charlo was before Canelo. Compare it. It's nowhere close. That's with the understanding that he was chasing somebody that was fighting at 168. Even with that being the contextual caveat to why he got beat, it does not matter. That man is a foregone afterthought for most of the public eye. When it comes to competitiveness in boxing, he's calling people out right now. And guess what? People don't care. Not nearly as much. Sure, we want to see him against Spence. Sure, we would love to see him against some of the other people. Absolutely, because he's a Charlo, but it ain't nearly the same hype of, oh, he can beat him. Oh, we can take him. Oh, my gosh, what would that do for his career? Nobody gives him the benefit of the doubt of belief anymore. At least when I'm interacting with people, it's not the same level of respect that his name garnered. The same level of weight, gravity, perspective, all around belief. It's not there. That's off of one loss in a hiatus from Charlo. Keith Thurman has got more weight from the level of trust to his name than Charlo right now. And that buddy was out longer than Charlo, was out earlier than Charlo. And he lost to the likes of Pacquiao. Not saying Charlo lost to Pacquiao, but you get what I'm saying. He had a lost interest. And we're looking at him completely differently. We're saying we hope he gets back. We hope he does better. And I think he actually has a shot. We're not saying that with Charlo. Why? Because what happened, this is the volatility of the sport. When we say this sport can eat you up and spit you out quick, unforgiving, this is what we're talking about. And that's where Ryan Garcia is at right now. On that teetering pedestal. It's a dangerous road right now. Let me see. Are you saying Ryan wins next, then fights Devin, which would be one of the biggest fights, and then winner fights Shakur? Yes. Yeah. That's exactly what I'm saying when referencing Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia. In fact, I can even bring up the old title card. I can even bring up the old title card that I had on it. Where's it at? Where's it at? This title card right here, what you see on the screen right now, this is possible through this road. Exactly what you put out, life is exactly what I'm saying. Ryan wins his next fight against Barrios. He beats Devin Haney. He becomes unified. And he then fights Shakur. That's exactly the roadmap I can see. That's exactly the roadmap. Because at that point now, understand, at this point in time, what is Shakur saying? Catch weight. Fight him at 144, I think. And Ryan Garcia was like, yeah, let's do it, no problem. But at that point in time, if we did see this year, Barrios and Devin Haney, and most of the time fighters only fight 2 times a year, so that would be it. It would then be by next year, Ryan Garcia is not just back in the perspective eye of the public. He might arguably be bigger than he was before. With 2 belts around his waist, lineal belt as well, I believe lineal as well, marched around by the ring, holding that red, white, and blue belt high, all of a sudden, you're the best welterweight in the world. And Shakur, which what we teased earlier, Shakur is moving and talking about Ryan Garcia in this type of way because the belts don't matter as much to him. With the whole sanctioning fees and all that stuff, and piggybacking off of these sentiments that we see the likes of Keyshawn Davis and Terrence Crawford hold, he thinks that same way. So what does that mean? The fights mean more than the belt. The fighter means more than the trinket in his eyes. So what does that mean? I'm still chasing the biggest fights I can get. And if that means I need to move up, I'll do it. Because for Ryan Garcia, with unified championship status, even though the belts to Shakur may not mean as much as they did in the past, still becoming unified champ does have weight against what's currently seen as one of the biggest stars in the sport. Yeah, that's worth taking the risk of going up to his domain to make it happen. Because I already did it once with Tio. If I got to do it again, I'll do it again. If he doesn't want to come back down, if that reality took place, that Shakur was indeed looking up at a bigger cash cow. If that happens. So yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. And if I'm gonna make an early prediction, that fight happens at 147. It happens at 147. And so, but again, it's what I can see. I'm not saying it's gonna happen. I'm saying that's the road I can see go down for the likes of Shakur and Ryan Garcia to make this very fight a actual reality. That's what I can see. I may be wrong, but that's my perspective anyway. But let me see. A little pushback. I don't see Ryan beating Devin 2 times around without PEDs. That's no issue. And you're absolutely right. Especially with the fact that even earlier or even directly after that fight, Ryan Garcia was saying himself, hey, yo, he's got pop. He said that after the fight with Devin Haney. Hey, people who don't think Devin Haney can punch, he can stick. He can stick. He does. He's got some weight to those things that he likes to throw. He's got some real power. He's got some danger in it. He said that this is Ryan Garcia after the fight in a direct press conference about his fight with Devin Haney. So everything I said about if you can negate that and make him respect you in your power, that can all fold well and good true now, because seemingly Devin Haney's got power even more fervently at 147. Punching better powerful technique, not just straight up landing. Yes, I still didn't like the way that he went about and was boxing in the second half of that fight, but that first half with that knockdown, yeah, that's a danger. That's a danger. It still is a danger. It still should be a danger. Nobody should look at that and say, it's whatever. No, that's real. That's real. You can say Brian Norman Jr. wasn't nearly prepared technically. He wasn't. You can say his dad fed him in his corner. He did. You can say that he needed to leave him to train, to get better, to be able to fully encapsulate what that physical prowess needs to be to compete at 147. He does. But that doesn't take away from the fact that, yeah, this Devin Haney is a different Devin Haney. We need to see a different Ryan Garcia. We need to see it. We need to see a different Ryan Garcia, especially after Rolly Romero. For any semblance of this fight to take place, we got to see a different Ryan Garcia. We have to. There's no more excuses. What I said about the skill sets, Murtai being better than him, there's no longer, and we were saying this because he was growing. We were saying this because he was young. We were saying this because of the fact that he is somebody that's gaining not just experience, but he is still young in the limelight of stardom. He hit the ground running, being early as one of the biggest names and faces in the sport. By his, 6th fight, all of a sudden, people was already getting talked about. By his 10th fight, he was already being seen as, okay, hey, this brother could be a future champion. And we were looking at him with the same effect that Oscar De La Hoya had when he was fighting, coming up in the world of boxing. That immediate bang, bam, that on-the-scene pizzazz. Sound like Emerald, bam. That's what that sounded like. But that's what happened to him. It went boom, just bam, just like that. He was on there, and everybody was looking at him. And we gave it. He was raw, hungry, looking to take on the world. He was. But he was still developing. But at this point in time, as of today, how old is Ryan Garcia? How old is this guy? Ryan Garcia, what's his name? He's 27 years old. I want you to understand. Who is? Ryan Garcia is 27 years old. Jerron Bruce Ennis is 28. Gervonta Davis is 30. Devin Haney, how old is he? How old is he? Devin Haney is... Come on now. Devin Haney's 27. Everybody around you Everybody in the immediate vicinity. Even shoot, I even bring up Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo Lopez is 28. Tank Davis is 31. We want to go down the list. Anyway, it's about 31, 32. Everybody surrounding you, not just with accomplishments, but with skill sets, has unlocked the door to what they are. Ryan Garcia, it feels like we still are holding out on the development and evolution of the full capacity of what Ryan Garcia can be. When we thought we had it against Devin Haney, the popping dirty with PEDs made everybody shift their landscape on what they looked at with Ryan. But the grace period for that time coming about to where, okay, it's now time for you to foundationally show us what we need to expect. That is here. It's here. Because it came for everybody else as well. It came for everybody. At about this same age, or rather, by the time they got to this age, what were we saying about Tio? Okay, this buddy, he's gotten where he needs to be. He's fighting like Gordo Lopez. He's doing all the stuff that we know Tio can do. Devin Haney, okay, he went and gained some power at 140. He became unified champion. He became undisputed champion. He beat Lomachenko. We know his style and we get what he's going to do. Juwan Boots Ennis, he got, mind you, it was getting sketchy there because we were still getting on him defensively. Now he unlocked his defensive weapons. He understood, or rather got better at being soundly responsible for defending his chin while still accentuating the offensive ability and the athletic uniqueness that is Ennis. We know what he is, and we got the foundation. Now we expect him at 140 against Virgil Ortiz. Let's see what this Boots is against the best of the best, because this Boots belongs in the best of the best. We got that foundation. Ryan Garcia has not had that foundation set in stone yet. We say that he's fast, he's quick, he's got instincts, absolutely. But to what degree can we wholeheartedly have as this is where you are? We're debating Morataya versus Ryan Garcia, and we don't, where is his skill level? Where does he belong? What should he be seen as? I can give him all the praise that I think he deserves. I can give him the criticism that he deserves. But the real issue is, buddy, we don't know what we're supposed to look at you as. We don't know what we're supposed to look at you as when we look at your career. When we look at you as a fighter. Where is your scale? We don't have that foundation. For everybody else around you that came up with you, we got that. We have that. We have it. And it is no longer the grace period for you to be able to say, he'll figure it out. It's not a he will. He has to. He's got to. Now more than ever, he's got to give us a foundational appeal. What are you? Because he's going through metamorphosis. He's going through changes. The chin up in the air, Ryan roll, check hooks. All of a sudden, he's going the house on fire. Next thing you know, he's doing what? Being reluctant to throw. We can't gauge him. We can't read him like we should. The volatility at this stage in his career is not because of the fights that he's in, but it's because of Ryan Garcia being in that fight. There's a difference. The fights that he's in making volatility would be great fighter going up against each other. Oh my gosh, what's going to happen? We don't know. Ryan Garcia causing the volatility in these fights is because beyond the fight itself, we don't have that same foundational trust in Ryan Garcia. For everything that we can bring up, good and bad, the one thing is when it comes to, as much as we talk about those intangibles, some other intangibles that we're just like, we don't know. We don't. Like with the discipline, like with the consistency, like with the training, like with the willingness to open up his learning. Who's in the world is going to be the guy that is backing him on a constant basis? Who's his one man that's telling this brother what to do? He's hot from trainer to trainer, move from corner to corner. We don't know. Where is the structure? There's no structure with Ryan Garcia. There's a lot of noise. There's no structure. It's a tall building without any sort of concrete, to the degree of it's waning left and right. There's a hurricane coming through, and that thing is swaying mighty heavily. We don't know if it's going to fall or not. And we can't even look at the foundations and say, hey, yeah, it's going to be all right. Because it has been swapped out, switched and changed, and it has been a metamorphosis and an evolution that isn't just incomplete. It is constantly shifting. There's no direction to the change. It's just change to some degree. That's the issue with Ryan Garcia. Evolution is supposed to be a forward progress to perfection, as close as you can get to it, or something to the pinnacle of what you can be. Evolution is not supposed to be that you're just shifting and changing and stuff is just happening. There's a direction. There's a cause. There is a zenith, a pinnacle. There's an end. We don't see the end because we don't know the direction. That's where the struggle, at least for me, that's where the struggle comes in. But let me see. I believe Ryan is a good fighter. I just think he's more of a hype jock. And that is a fair assumption. That's a fair assumption. He's a lot of hype. He deserves it. But also, that's all he is for this point in time. This is with the understanding of what his talent is. Most of the stuff around him is just, it's hype. And it's a hype that we want to believe. But because there's so much stuff around Ryan Garcia happening to or by Ryan in and outside the ring, there's no, like, it's a, oh gosh, man. Like, it gets me upset simply because I want to believe fully in him. I really do. Just in his career. And I never want to diminish what this cat can really be capable of, because it's a lot. But the problem is him. We look at every which way Ryan Garcia, and there's no clear direction when it comes to how he is developing. It's simply flashes of trying stuff and then letting stuff go at times. Moving in a direction and switching corners. He was with Derek James. He left Derek James and went with Goosen. Then left with Goosen. Now he's with David Benavidez. He's going to stick with David Benavidez in this camp. Or rather, he's with his dad, excuse me now, full time with the Benavidez camp. Is he going to stick with that? Or is he going to drop him too? We don't know. We can't see any sort of straight path simply because there is none right now for Ryan Garcia. And I hope that changes with this fight. But my gosh, man, it's frustrating. For me, it's frustrating. But let me see. Shakur would demolish Ryan. Love King, how you doing? Also, thank you for tuning in. We're so happy that you're here with us on today. We appreciate you joining in on the live stream as we're coming through. Again, this is championship round. We are trying to, we're attempting to see if we can make it so that we can last all the way through to the weigh-in. I was looking up, it's on the East Coast, the weigh-in's going to be at 6 o'clock Eastern. We might, I thought it was going to be at 3. Lord, we're going to see if we can stretch it out that long. We're going to find out. Either way, we're going to make it, we're going to do the best that we can. But either way, let me read your chats in conversation. Shakur would demolish Ryan. He would, in my opinion. But he would also, that level of, the biggest instance of concern in that fight, if they did fight, would be the check hook versus the jab of Shakur. And as quick as Shakur's jab is, could Ryan Garcia's left hook beat it out in the same way that we see it beat Devin Haney? Could it? He's got the range to get to him. That mid-range area that we were seeing Shakur beat Teofimo Lopez at, Ryan Garcia would be able to be more dangerous in because of that instantaneous, okay, we just throwing it. And we're just going to react and respond as quick as possible. Would that be a problem for Shakur to face off against? That's the question. If it is, like he was saying it was when they were in the amateurs, okay, we might have ourselves a really big concern. Ooh-wee. Oh my. Everybody look out. That could be a barn-burner fight. Again, it's shocking the world. Yet again, it could be Ryan Garcia. But, in all actuality, I strongly believe Shakur would beat him. Shakur would beat him, but Shakur without boxing. Now, Shakur could get hurt. Don't let that get twisted. Shakur could get hurt in that fight. We want to talk about if a knockout could be possible. Yeah, it's possible. And he could get put to sleep. He can't. But most likely, it won't happen. Most likely, it won't happen. And he'll be able to go and get the job done. And beat him. And completely outbox him. Especially if we see after this fight with Barrios, nothing's changed with Ryan Garcia. If I see that nothing's changed with Ryan Garcia, you doggone right, I'm not believing a lick of anything when it comes to looking at Shakur having any sort of trouble when it comes to Ryan Garcia. At least for me. At least in my humble opinion. But even still, we want to make sure we can keep on this show rolling for us as much as we can. It's still the championship rounds. If you did not know, you all are still controlling the whole of this show with everything in regards to the world of boxing and beyond. We aren't just talking about Shakur and Ryan. We talked about a whole host of topics surrounding this whole weekend of fights. No, that ain't it. Hold on, wait a minute. There we go. I was trying to get the title card, but we still want to hear from you in regards to anything else involving the world of boxing and sports as a whole. In fact, wait a minute, hold on. Wait a minute, is this? Oh, I think we got. Hold on, I think we got some news with Boots. Hold on. I think we got some news with Boots. Hold on, wait a minute. I think we might have some news with Boots in us. Wait a second. Wait a minute. Come on. Where's that? Hold on, everybody stand back. Hold on, everybody stand back. Okay. So apparently, this is per pound for pound Twitter. When looking at the verdict for the cause or for the ruling for Boots versus Ortiz, essentially, can Ortiz get out of his contract? Let me pull up on the screen for you all. If this is real, this has been the verdict as of 30 minutes ago. Judge Silva, who I believe is over the court case for the Ortiz Golden Boy Promotions arbitration, whatever this thing is, said in response to the motion to compel arbitration is due in 5 days. Order granted TRO expires 2 days after that. She is going to take everything under advisement and will issue an order as quickly as possible. She asked if either side will supplement briefs. So essentially, they heard everything. They've compelled an arbitration that is going to be given to the court in 5 days. Or within 5 days, excuse me. And after that time, she's going to make a decision straight up on whether or not Ortiz can get out of his contract. He's got to stick with it. So by this time, by the 25th, minimum, by the 25th or at least the 29th, at latest, it could be March 4th. We're going to get a full-blown verdict on if Ortiz can get out of his contract. And from what I've been reading on the other posts on social media, who's been keeping up with this thing, unless I read it wrong, it looks like it might be possible that, yeah, he's going to be able to get out of there. And if so, great. Because I want to see that fight take place. I'll be perfectly honest. We're talking about with Boots, again, we're talking about right now with Boots and Ortiz. Court just ordered arbitration, and essentially within 5 days about to have a final verdict. And they're going to say whether or not Ortiz can get out. And I hope it's the case. And it looks like, might be wrong, but it's looking like Ortiz may be able to get out of there. It's looking like Ortiz may be able to get out of there. It's looking like Ortiz is going to be able to get out of his contract. seemingly. Very much big speculation, but it's looking like he gonna be able to get out of there. And then we gonna finally get the fight we've been waiting on in April. Boots versus Ortiz in May. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Boots versus Ortiz in April. Wherever in the world you want to put it, because it's going to be one of the biggest fights in the globe. No question about it. But even still, we will still want to hear your thoughts and opinions. It is a championship round. We want to still hear what you got to say on today. We will still go through over some of the other things involving the world of sports and more so boxing as a whole, as we are trying to keep you as up to date on anything involving essentially any news for the world of sport. We got the weigh-in. We got the official weigh-ins before these ceremony weigh-ins come into play. If you would like to get spoiled on what's been going on with Ryan Garcia, Barrios and Garcia officially weighed in behind the curtain for the official weigh-in. I wish they would do this on stage as the official weigh-in instead of just behind the curtain. But regardless of which, Barrios is coming in at flat foot 147, and Garcia is coming in at 146.5. So both of them made weight perfectly fine. Everything's all well and good. Both of them are officially on pace to make this fight a championship. There's no situation where Garcia won't be eligible for the title. It's going to be he made weight. He looks like he's fully healthy. He's probably going to rehydrate above to probably 150, 155. Same thing with Mario Barrios. At a 6 foot frame, we might see Barrios rehydrate to an even bigger size, potentially. Yeah, excuse me, I do mean potentially get you close to 160. I want to say maybe, but we'll figure out what the time will tell on the night of the fight. But regardless of which, hey, we got ourselves a championship fight. We got ourselves a championship. We got ourselves a championship. And not a repeat of what we saw last time with Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia. We're going to have a fully crowned opportunity for both men to get a shot at the world title, which I am indeed ecstatic for. And mind you, just to reiterate, we have been waiting on Ryan Garcia to get a title around his waist. We have been hoping and praying that we finally get to see Ryan Garcia get some gold to be able to show that he is indeed about that life. Not just about that life, but he's able to reach the zenith that we've been waiting on him doing. But now, he's at the cusp of it, so I can't wait to see it. No question about it. Let me see. Just one other when it comes to let me see. Also, I do got to say this. This is in response to Ryan Garcia being talked about with the PEDs. And this fight potentially coming through in reference to what people may say about him if he does indeed destroy the likes of Mario Barrios in this fight coming up on Saturday. And people are going to probably say PEDs is going to be the reason. And he's got a response for that. I'll let him play right here so you can hear exactly what he had to say. No, you can't hear him because it ain't even. Hold on. There we go.
You defended yourself in the aftermath of what happened when the Haney win got taken away from you. But are you at all looking to quiet some of that talk that you only had a performance like that at the championship level because of the Osprey, because of PEDs and all that kind of stuff? And will this performance go a way of silencing that?
I'm sure they'll find another angle, at the end of the day. So, for me, it's just performing how I know I can perform. That's it. And being happy with, and I'm a hard critic on myself, so just being happy how I perform make me happy. Because the sky's the limit for me.
If they're trying to take the left hook away, make you beat them with anything else other than the left hook, what's your answer for that Saturday?
I mean, they'll have an answer. They're gonna have a rude awakening from Saturday night.
There you go. Well, again, I do apologize. This fight, this part, probably after we come back, or when this stream ends, might get copyright stricken. I'm not gonna lie, I might have to mute this part because I didn't realize there was music playing. I didn't think they were gonna have music playing in the background, but he's saying that they'll probably find a way, or excuse me, in reference to the PEDs, he's saying that people, or even his opponents, like Joe Goosen, will probably find a way to try to say, hey, yeah, he was cheating if he goes and destroys Barrios, like he said he was going, or like he said he's going to do on Saturday night. Now, here's the question I do need to ask. And this is a little bit different, has the drama surrounding this whole saga with Ryan Garcia, has this affected him mentally to the point that we should be concerned about his career going forward with all the scrutiny that he's had to endure and experience? Now, this ain't something me trying to say, oh, we're trying just to bloviate topics and bring up random things. Legitimately, one of the things about boxers is the psyche. 90% mental, 10% physical. That's the saying, and it's real. Part of the reason why people say Shakur would beat Ryan Garcia would be in part because Shakur mentally looks to be more sound, more controlled, more in tune, not just with himself, with everything around him. He is able to put his emotions into not necessarily a box, but be able to hone it. It's one reason why he said he was going to beat the likes of Stephen Lopez, because the volatility of losing control doesn't affect Shakur as much as it does Stephen Lopez. Ryan Garcia, especially what he's had to deal with in life and outside of the ring, especially after this Devin Haney stuff. As much as he's been a golden goose of entertainment, he's also been a golden goose of scrutiny. And that takes a toll. Even now with this type of fight, with Barrios in his first championship opportunity, still getting asked and dragged down by the questions of PEDs, by the questions of the drama with Devin Haney, still can't get out of the shadow to some degree of what happened on that night in that fight. Has that and will that be something that, even if it doesn't take precedent and show up right now, eat away at the emotional stability of Ryan Garcia to the point that he can start to falter? Especially if he loses against Barrios tonight, or rather tomorrow. It could be a very, very hard fall. There's like, oh my gosh, how do I climb back up from here? Similar to what we had with the volatility that we had with Devin Haney, when he was on the brink of, oh my gosh, brother, what are you? If you lose to, with all the scrutiny that he had in dealing with Ryan Garcia, even post PEDs, people still bringing up all the then you got knocked out, you got beat up, this, that, and the third, all this stuff, still living in the shadow of that one performance. It can take a toll on you. Now, he was able to seemingly come out and still get himself right. Ryan Garcia, especially coming off of a loss to Rolly, of all people, in reference to the skill set that was supposed to be respected against Ryan Garcia, it could be a drama. It could be a big drama. It could be a bad drama. It could be a very bad drama. Let me see. I ain't got long. I got Russell winning. I got Barrios by decision. And what it do, Luke? Yo, Teddy, what's going on with you? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in. I know you ain't got long. We might be ending the show actually in a couple minutes myself. We ain't trying to drag on the show. We just want to make sure that we save our voice. I thought I was going to get this closer to the weigh-in, but I severely miscalculated when the way it was going to be for Ryan Garcia. So we might have to just end this show now and just get ready for tomorrow outright, because I don't think I can go until 6 o'clock if I want to be able to last all day on Friday to talk with you all. But hey, you got Russell winning. You got Barrios by decision. I got Ryan Garcia by knockout in what? The 8th round, I think it's the 8th or 9th round. I think I got him by KO. That's what I'm sticking with anyway. So we're going to see how it goes. And I also got Russell beating Andy Hiroka by unanimous decision. In my opinion. But let me see. F.A. dropped Martin. We got Clarissa by decision. F.A. dropped and knocked out Martin. I told you. F.A. Jogba is above Frank Martin. Is above Charles Martin. And Charles Martin was this is why I said he wasn't that great. Even though he had the championship pedigree, he wasn't in remotely contention for, okay, yeah, he belongs with these top 10 or in the ring with these top 10. And it showed, because F.A. Jogba put him out of there easily. Absolutely. We got Clarissa by decision, and she is fine. I think I got her. I almost want to pick her by KO as well. I really do. I think I'm going to go with Clarissa Shields by knockout in this fight. I can't say which round, but I think we're going to see about knockout in her fight this weekend. That's a brave pick. You think it's It is break. But hey, look, we go risk it for the biscuit. That ain't know what we say all day. I didn't say he was better. I thought he was more different. Okay, no, excuse me. You're right. You are right. You did say that. You didn't say he was better. You said he would be a stiffer challenge for F.A. Ajagba than me and other people were giving him credit for. Understandable. My apologies for misconstruing your words. But on the note of competitive fervor, I still felt, hey, Charles wasn't going to be competitive. Now, this ain't trying to throw shade. I didn't think Charles was going to be all that. And he showed it. And so Charles is a very good, Charles is the type of fighter that you want to come back and fight to be able to go and show, okay, hey, I still got more in the tank. I'm trying to learn something new to add to my game. That's how I view Charles anyway. But either way, let me see what you got to say. Clarissa needs a KO, but it ain't happening. I hope she gets one. I think she can get one. I think she's going to get one this next fight. Now, if I'm wrong, and this is my decision, well, so be it. But I do think that she's due one. And I think this is the fight that she gets. Truly, I do. She's been on a tear. She's been dominant. She's been number one woman in the world right now across the board. Undisputed at heavyweight, I believe, as well. She's been a menace, a monster. Absolutely. And so I think she's going to get a KO. I really do. Let me see. I rewatched Charles versus Anderson fight to see what the problem was. And yeah, that fight was, in all honesty, Charles Martin gave Anderson more trouble than he did F.A. Ajagba. That kind of speaks to me on the ability of Jared Anderson to some degree, if I do say so myself. But that's due to the fact that Anderson struggling against Charles Martin was because of Anderson's, in all honesty, lack of adaptation and skill set. And again, to show defense without the proper defense that caused him to get hit. And Charles got robbed, I think. You ain't wrong for thinking that. You ain't wrong. I was saying, I didn't think Charles got robbed. Charles was one more round away from being able to, in my opinion, at least knock down Jared Anderson. Because he found out that left straight was working to perfection and was rocking back Jared Anderson's head. He found that out just too little, too late in the fight. But if he figured that out earlier, especially with all the struggles that he was already giving Anderson, he would have won, and he probably would have knocked him out. He probably would have done what Martin Bacoli did before Martin Bacoli. He probably would have. If he had found out that left straight was going to be such a damaging weapon earlier instead of later on in the last two or three rounds in the fight, it would have been a monster. But again, that's indictment on Jared Anderson. To me, that's indictment on him. But let me see. That was set up for yeah, it was. If you watch how Martin was landing, Bacoli literally did the same thing, just more often. The straights, the no telegraphed straight shots, using that length, punching naked with his power hand. When Jared Anderson keeps on leaning straight back, you just extend because you got enough reach to get him. Yeah, it's easy work. But let me see. Has anyone heard anything about Oscar versus the Ortiz case? I think. Well, I just gave some news about the final verdict that happened in court. From what I read, again, this was per pound for pound. Who was talking about the fight. In fact, let me pull it up real quick. Hold on. Let me pull it up real quick so I can actually read off what's going on. Okay, so here we go. So, what does it say? I'm reading right now. So Judge Silva said in response to a motion to compel arbitration is due in 5 days. The order granting TRO expires 2 days after that. She's going, in terms of the judge, Judge Silva, she's going to take everything under advisement and will issue an order as quickly as possible. She asked if either side had any supplemental briefs to end off the court hearing. Judge Silva said expect a written order from the bench in a few days. Golden Boy versus Virgil Ortiz hearing is over. So again, within 5 to about 7 days, we're going to hear a straight up final verdict on what's going to happen with the whole case of Ortiz versus Golden Boy getting out of court or not. Or rather getting out of the contract and being able to sign with the $20 million deal or the $60 million deal, essentially to get the boots fight going. We're going to find it out in 5 days. That's essentially what all that said. We're going to find out the verdict in 5 days from the bench, whether or not they say he is or is not part of the contract anymore, and whether or not he can or cannot go and sign with the boots fight. We're going to find out in 5 days, roughly. So at this point in time, that's all that's been going down. So we'll have to wait and see. So that we just have to wait and see on that. But that's the biggest. That's the most recent updates on the Virgil Ortiz case. So for Coley needs to fight. I don't want the power to waste away. I don't know who he's gonna fight next. I thought he was gonna rematch F.A. Ajagba after their fight in Riyadh season, but he never did, and he's been kind of laying low. Why? I don't know. But either way, he does need to get back in the ring, and hopefully, we'll see him soon. Lord knows I want to see some action up in the heavyweight division. But Coley is a fun fighter that is very entertaining to watch. And he can give a different look to a bunch of different people. So I would love to see what goes through afterward. F.A. don't want the rematch. Hey, buddy, he needs it. He needs it. Right now, that's the biggest fight he can get. That's the biggest fight he can get right now. We ain't putting him in the ring with the likes of stinking Moses Talma. We ain't putting him in the ring with that. He don't want that. We ain't putting him in the ring with Wardley. He don't belong in the ring with Justice Hooney. From the standpoint of talent, he better take that Bacoli fight. If he wants to move up, Bacoli's going to be his ticket up. Bacoli's going to be, if he wants to move up in the ranks of heavyweight, Bacoli's is going to be his ticket up. He's going to have to fight him one way or another. And so, especially at this stage in his career, which again is still young, but he's also like, I've seen this brother in the ring since forever. My gosh. And so, see, Torres, I am not, okay, look, I'm not a fan of Torres as much, but yes, I do have to say, yeah, I didn't take Torres into account. Richard Torres with F.A. Ajagba, you know what? That ain't a fight that's bad. That's not a bad fight. That's not a bad fight. It's not a fight I want to see. But it's a fight that, yeah, if it ain't Bacoli, though I wasn't thinking about it, I got to give credit. That's a fight that would be intriguing, to say the least, and would help him move up, especially against a silver medalist who was an Olympian, who is supposed to be, again, the next American great heavyweight, or supposed to be the only other American that can compete in the heavyweight world. F.A. beats him. A lot of people get some eyes on him. So, hey, it would be interesting to see nonetheless. But I think we're going to wrap this show up and send it home because we don't want to overstay our welcome. I can't go 3 hours because I got to make sure I keep my voice for tomorrow afternoon. So sadly, we're going to miss the visual weigh-in because I thought I timed it right. I didn't. That's my fault. But even still, we're going to be back here on Saturday to cover the world of boxing and to call the fights as a whole on the night. But let me see. You right. It's the best form for a marginal take. Yeah, I'm glad we both agree. Absolutely. But look, we're going to get out of here. Peace to you. I'm going to see you all tomorrow. And with all of that being said, this has been another episode of The Watchman with me, your host, Jean-Luc Welch. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening to the show with us on today. It's been a blast. It's been a time. It's been incredible to see you all witness and enjoy this whole occasion. It's been giving you all, and take a bow, all of you, making this show oh so phenomenal, oh so incredible, oh so spectacular. And please be sure to go ahead and keep on liking the stream, keep on sharing the show. Please be sure rate us 5 stars on every podcasting platform. Wherever you listen to podcasts, we're going to be posting this at the end of the day. Also, be sure to leave a like on the video before you get on out of here. Comment your thoughts and opinions on what you liked or didn't like about the show. Keep on subscribing to the Empire, and please keep on going through and sharing the show with everybody that you know so we can keep on building up this empire together. Thank you to everybody who tuned in and supported to the channel. Thank you to the likes of where is he? Thank you to Julius for sending the 40 bones to the channel and giving alms to the Empire. It means the world to me. Absolutely. The top 5 chat. Oh yeah. Thank you to everybody else who chatted and responded. Y'all were absolutely wonderful and phenomenal. The top 5 chatters for today, pound for pound. Number 5 was Technique. Number 4 was Actually, number 4 was I Need a Burr. Number 3 was Teddy Buckshot. Number 2 was Israel for Life. And number 1 was Julius as number 1 chatter on our show on today per the YouTube rankings. We appreciate you tuning in. We appreciate you showing up and showing out. We appreciate all of you supporting. Can you keep that number 1 rank? We're going to find out on tomorrow. But again, we're going to be back for call the whole of the not even championship rounds, the whole of the title fight of Ryan Garcia versus Barrios. We're going to be here calling it live on our show. Can't wait to see you all there. It's going to be a phenomenal time. But hey, be safe, be blessed, enjoy your afternoon. I've been Sean Welch. Y'all have been wonderful. Peace and love. We are here. Yes, sir. We're going to see you all on tomorrow. One last shameless plug. If you want to support the channel even more, hey, we got Cash App and PayPal. Links down below, as well as YouTube Super Chats and Super Gifts and all this stuff. If you can support the channel, means the world to me. Helps us to go and pay the bills and to help invest back into the show and to help you all enjoy even more fervently. But hey, I've been John Welch. Y'all have been wonderful. Thank you for tuning in, and we're going to see you all next time. Be safe, be blessed, peace and love. Salute to you, and we out of here. Yes, sir.